Hey guys, I'm the Ninja Story. So, SpongeBob SquarePants is one of my favorite Nicktoons of all time. Not my favorite Nicktoon, but one of my favorite Nicktoons that belongs to Hey Arnold as my favorite. People online have always been discussing the best of SpongeBob, but I think it's time to look at the worst of SpongeBob. And there's no other thing to look at for the worst of SpongeBob SquarePants than its specials. Now, don't get me wrong, SpongeBob had some great specials, like Shanghai and Dunces and Dragons, and some very mixed specials, like Have You Seen the Snail? And then they have some bad ones. Let's go through the bad ones. I am the Ninja Story, and here are my top 10 worst SpongeBob specials. So, coming in at number 10, we have The Great Patty Caper. The Great Patty Caper is just bland. I don't hate this special as much as other specials, but it's just bland. I really do not find enjoyment in the special. It's just bland in my opinion. I can only say it's just bland. Like it's like the the Muppet Patty the Great Muppet Caper or whatever that movie was called. But it's I can't find enjoyment in it. But anyways, coming in at number 9, we have Ugh. Ugh is definitely a very, very mixed SpongeBob special. Some see it as a hit, some see it as a miss. I see it as a miss. Even though it's better than some of the other specials from different cartoons or shows that use a made up language, aka the Star Wars Holiday Special, I just can't. The SpongeBob episode itself is fine. The thing that I hate about it is the patchy segments. The only good thing about the patchy segments is the When Worlds Collide song. But that's it. I just can't find enjoyment in this episode. Coming in at number 8, we have The Sponge Who Could Fly. Dang. This is a really, really hit or miss special. I really do not like this special at all. I cannot find enjoyment in it. It's just bad. That's all I can really say. Coming in at number 7 is SpongeBob Family Vacation. Again, another episode that's just bland. I really cannot find enjoyment in this episode either. Just, it's not the greatest episode in my opinion. Um, Definitely not the worst special post movie. There's a lot, but definitely is a bad special. Now, the rest of these episodes onwards are specials that I hate. And I mean hate. So coming in at number 6, we have SpongeBob's Last Stand. Holy crap. This has to be one of the worst environmental episodes of any show I've ever watched. I can't with this episode. I try to watch it, and then it's just too confusing. This episode is one of the most confusing SpongeBob episodes ever. I I hate this episode. It's terrible. But there are 5 that are worse. And coming in at number 5 is Party Pooper Pants. Because it had to be on the list. It had to. This is one of the most hated pre-movie episodes, if not the most hated pre-movie episode, and the worst pre-movie special. Definitely. This was a terrible episode. The only good thing to come out of this episode is one of the most underrated jokes ever to appear on SpongeBob. So, pretty much what happens is that SpongeBob gives Patrick an invitation to the party. And the words are like dripping because I think they made out of black paint or something, black ink. Why black paint? And SpongeBob goes, "Whoever wrote this clearly does not understand the physics of underwater." Then he says, "Well, might as well throw this in the fire." That's probably one of the most underrated jokes, but otherwise it's a terrible episode. Coming in at number 4 is the Clash of Triton. Well, I'm thinking about doing a solo review for the next 4 episodes on this list, because they're just that bad. And Clash of Triton is definitely bad. Jesus, this is honestly one of the most forgettable specials ever. It's so bland, it's so boring, it's just terrible. But coming in at number 3 and making it into the top 3, I was gonna put this higher. I really could have put this in number 2 and number 1. However, this is a guilty pleasure of mine. Even though it's terrible, it's still guilty pleasure. And that is Truth or Square. Truth or Square is not number 1 or number 2. Yes, it's terrible. I don't hate it. I find so much enjoyment in the episode because this was one of the first SpongeBob episodes I ever watched. The first episode I've ever watched was Shanghai, but this was probably one of the first. This was the first SpongeBob DVD that I ever got. I didn't know how bad the episode was. I just found so much enjoyment in the episode. If I had seen like episodes like Bang Geeks or Chocolate with Nuts and stuff like that before I watched Truth or Square, then yeah, I probably would have hated it. But since this was one of the first SpongeBob episodes that I ever saw, it's different. I just love this episode, but at the same time, it's so terrible. Coming in at number 2 is SpongeBob, You're Fired. There's literally a scene in this special where after SpongeBob gets fired, he makes food for Gary. And it's perfect. How does that connect to anything else in the episode? I don't know. This episode, the writers have no idea what they're doing with this episode. It's just terrible. It's so bad. This is one of my least favorite post-movie episodes, or post-season 8 episodes, ever. Not my least favorite, but seriously, it's so bad. But before we say what the number 1 worst SpongeBob special is, I want to give 3 honorable or dishonorable mentions. Those go to SpongeBob SquarePants versus the Big One. Consider this number 12. It's one of my least favorite episodes. I know a bunch of people really like this, but I just do not find enjoyment. Pest of the West. Consider this number 11. It was so close to making the list, but it barely survives. It's, in my opinion, so boring. It really, really is. And the third honorable mention, I'm about to get a lot of hate for this if anybody watches this. Whatever Happened to SpongeBob? I honestly think it's an okay special. A lot of people really hate this episode. I find it decent. I really do. People online just crap over this episode, but I find it very enjoyable in my opinion. Yes, there are many flaws, but there are, in my opinion, many positives. And it could probably be in my top 10 favorite SpongeBob specials, honestly. That's how much I love it, but I cannot say the same about number 1. Of course, it's Atlantis Scorpianus. It was obvious. It was really obvious. This is, without a doubt, the most dull, boring, idiotic, stupid, pathetic special to ever air for any Nicktoon. Honestly, this episode is so bad. I can't even find enjoyment in it. Like I can with Truth is Square. Just this episode is the main definition of why I do not watch SpongeBob constantly. It's terrible. The songs are some of the worst to come out of this show. The writing has no idea what it wants to do. And then the episode is over with some really bad patchy stuff. Uh, I can't with this episode. It's so bad. It's not even so bad that it's good. It's just bad. Just bad. Just terrible. It's bad. Jesus Christ. Alright, thank you guys for watching this episode. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you did like this, please drop a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Jesus, I hate it when it's Scorpianus.